Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Maybe some of you actually made some money as well. In the Signal group we did was a nice weekend and was also deserved after last week. I mean, last week was pretty tough to trade. Or not tough to trade, but there were quite a lot of FOMO-inducing moves. But hope you're having a great weekend. Wanted to do a full update here ahead of the next week. Next week is, bound to be very volatile again. So just wanted to prepare you for that and talk a little bit about today as well. Today so far has been pretty stable, as you can see. The price is, we had a bit of a sell-off here. Bit of a de-risking move, but today it feels like real weekend, and we actually had volumes dropping down much lower. Volume right now is also extremely low, or extremely low. I mean, it's just down quite a lot since yesterday, and we're still holding that POC here for Bitcoin, which we'll get to a little bit later. But ultimately there's not a lot of strength, and that means that all eyes are on the week opening. But we'll talk about that. For now, quickly wanted to give you a rundown of next week when we're talking about the economic calendar. So are there economic events you need to know about? Short answer is yes. I have to say, a lot of this is kind of, focused around headlines, right? Because what you can see is that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday as well. Thursday and Friday, we have people from the Federal Reserve speaking and doing speeches, right? And what tends to happen is that, most of these will most likely be unimportant. Wednesday, we have the speech by Jerome Powell. That will most likely be important. And any headlines about quantitative easing, etc., from any of those speeches, which is every single day, can make the market move, right? I have my own news channel on Telegram. That's free. If you join the group, down in the description, you'll probably be able to find it. It's a linked channel. I'll try to keep you updated on there as soon as possible, also in these videos, but that is something you need to know about. And then outside of that, talking about some important news events, there's not much. Wednesday we have retail sales, but that doesn't matter that much. Thursday we have initial jobless claims and building permits, doesn't matter that much either. And then Friday is Good Friday. So in general, it's a relatively quiet week economically, very, very similar to today. But then talking about, obviously, what we do expect is a development of this whole tariffs/trade war situation, and that's going to be, that's going to be key to the movement of Bitcoin as well, and crypto as well. I have to say, crypto has been relatively strong over the course of this weekend. That's a good sign. You actually see that the Coinbase Bitcoin premium has been quite strong as well. I don't think that Michael Saylor bought last week, but that could have some effects on the market as well. If he did buy, it's probably bearish. If he did not buy, that's probably bullish, because that means that we actually had some relative strength. But as far as the stock market goes, it's just going to be volatile. All right. If I would have to predict it right now, I'd say we will first have some sort of a open a little bit higher because of what happened yesterday with the tariff exemptions. But I do think we're going to fill that. And I think in general, uncertainty regarding the tariff situation will remain, at least on the short term. But that is something we'll talk about that tomorrow, and we'll have more data. But that also means for Bitcoin, I've spoken about this this morning. Bitcoin remains relatively unclear. We have quite a lot of imbalances here to the downside, and we are at a relatively strong resistance level right here with the value area high at 86,000. That's why I'm slightly leaning towards a move down here into the 30-day VWAP at 82,700, down to 81,500, and potentially spiking down to 80,500. That's what I would say is most likely right here as the next big move for Bitcoin. But for those of you who listened well, you also heard that I said it was quite likely the stock market was going to open higher, right? So if something like that happens before getting this move down, which I'm pretty certain about, but more on that later in my next videos, we could have something like this, right? So a breakout above 86,000, reclaim, and then the move down. In general, that volatility is something you should expect. And then today we had some rumors talking about some other altcoins as well. We had some rumors about XRP and their what they have to pay being paid in XRP coins, which I haven't seen any major, like a real news source about that. So there's definitely strength, but at this point of time, there's a lot of leveraged strength coming in. So even though, like I said, same with Bitcoin, short term, we could reach that level right here at 2.3. Same goes for XRP. I do think we're going to refill this imbalance, and that we're going to test that value area low right here between 2.07 and let's say 1.95, but that's unlikely to hit. So that's it for now. I mean, altcoins, look, personally, I'm not trading any altcoins this Sunday. It's just too uncertain for that. There's a couple of altcoins that did strike my attention though. Mu Deng, for example, the meme coin, as some of you might still know that. EOS also is still pulling some volume. And outside of that, I mean, it's a very small list. I mean, like I said, the volumes right now are dropping down quite a bit across the markets. I'd say the Trump meme coin actually still is quite interesting because we have major unlocks coming in next week Saturday, so we might see a bit of a short squeeze before that. But outside of that, there's not much I'd want to tell you about right now, because most altcoins will just move exactly as Bitcoin does. But those are my thoughts. That is what I do think you need to know. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments, of course. But for now, thank you for watching. Take care and bye.